Welcome to the Ezra Walk and Talk. Of course, we're sitting and spitting today. And I really like this new way I'm doing this, where I just come up with a good idea and I film it, right? I don't have to wait or prepare myself or, go in a room, set up this whole thing. And I like doing that. I enjoy doing that. And maybe eventually that will come back in some form or nature. But this is what I want to do. Look, I don't even comb my hair. Look, my hair is wild right now. I look like, well, I still look like $1,000,000, but I look like, a sloppy $1,000,000, right? $1,000,000 is not, it's not like perfectly kept in a suitcase. No, no, no. It's like kind of just all spread out. But I'm thinking of Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul this weekend. And I think that everyone kind of, and I was negative against Tommy Fury too. I was calling him Tommy Fumbles, just like Jake Paul told us to, because he kept pulling out of this fight and it just kind of seemed like a joke at that point, right? But this fight's actually going to happen now, and I get that everyone is kind of leaning that Jake Paul's going to knock out Tommy Fury, and I get why you're going that way, right? And I get that Jake Paul is out, done everything that we imagined that he was actually going to be, and he's proven that he's a better boxer than all the MMA fighters, right? That stepped in the ring with him. And he's proven that he was even the any athlete that came, brother YouTubers. He was the guy. At this point, he has proven it. He has proven his point. But the truth is this is the first time he's getting in with a boxer. And I know that people don't think highly of Tommy Fury, and I know last three performances you shouldn't really think too highly of Tommy Fury. And I don't know. I don't think Tommy Fury is going to be a real champion. But what he is, and what he has been, and what he's done is he has put on those gloves, he has put on those shoes, he has trained boxing for years, and he is familiar with that ring, and that is a huge thing, right? It is one thing of being an actual pro fighter, actually training like a pro fighter, actually training just thoroughly this sport, right? And having that experience and having that comfort of that ring. And no matter what, however good Anderson Silva is naturally at fighting, he's never going to have the comfort of that ring without years of getting it, right? And he's just not going to have it. It's just certain spots he's just not going to be able to do things. And it's just certain spots he's always going to go back to maybe technical flaws or just things that he does in MMA. Tommy Fury's not going to have that. And there's a little thing that I'm a little worried just throw me off in this fight. And it may be just because I think that I can beat Jake Paul, right? And I kind of think I could beat Tommy Fury as well. Now, that could be throwing me off my opinion on what Tommy Fury can do, because maybe I'm just thinking what I would do, right? And what I feel like I would be able to do, and what I feel like Tommy Fury should be able to do, is just avoid the two shots that Jake Paul has. Now, Jake Paul has the leaning jab, right? Step in, leaning jab, and the overhand right. And it's rinse and repeat. It really is rinse and repeat. So I feel like if you have experienced boxing, you should be able to avoid these two shots. Now, I do want to slow down my roll a little bit and let you know that I'm not coming with arrogance here when I say, oh, I could beat these guys, right? And I'm not, like I said, I'm an 0-1 fighter. Trust me, I've been humbled in this sport plenty of times. There's no arrogance. There's no overconfidence on what I'm saying. I'm just saying that from when I see them, I don't see really high level guys. But from Jake Paul especially, I don't see a high level guy. And the things that what I'm afraid that throws me off is I was thinking about when Roy Jones calls a fight, or when Roy Jones gives an opinion on a fight. There's very few times where I watch a fight, really not often at all, especially at the level of fights that I watch, where I feel like I can fight and keep up with the guy I'm watching, right? And so that allows me to just when I'm predicting how a fight's going to go, or predicting how I think the outcome is going to come out, I'm really just basing it off of what I'm watching those two guys and what they're capable of. Not what I'm capable of, what they're capable of. But I think sometimes when Roy Jones or a high-level fighter like that's calling a fight, I think sometimes he's talking about what he's capable of. So when he comes up with a game plan, or he comes up with an idea that how a fight's going to go, or what a guy should do, it's more what he's thinking of what he would have done in his prime, right? And that might throw you off a little bit because no one's Roy Jones, right? So the fighter that he's watching may not be able to accomplish what he's saying to do. And that's a lot of times what makes these guys not the best trainers when they're done boxing, because they're going to want you to do things that maybe you physically cannot do, and your body just won't allow you to do, and you are just because you're not Roy Jones, right? So what I'm saying is that this fight, because that's such a low level, that I feel like I can possibly, for one of the first times I ever view this fight, in the way that Roy Jones look at a fight. And I don't know if that's, like I said, I explained that thoroughly, that's not arrogance, it's just how low level maybe this fight really is. But from what I'm seeing, I just think you have 2 shots to avoid with Jake Paul. And I think if you avoid them and you fight negatively if you have to, right? You're really gonna expose him, I feel like. And like I said, I don't believe Tommy Fury is some high level fighter that's gonna become a world champion one day. I don't believe any of that. But I believe he has experience. And I believe that he is not gonna be jittery and he's not gonna be afraid to get hit and he's not gonna be tricked by the simple tricks that Jake Paul has. I don't believe he is. So I believe that he's just gonna be able to eliminate a lot of the key weapons that Jake Paul goes to. And just enough, and he'll be able to put it together just enough offense to win rounds. I don't think he's going to stop Jake Paul. I think it's might even be a boring fight, but I think he's going to do enough offense to win these rounds. And Jake Paul is going to have to come up with some kind of performance, right? Maybe you have to bite down this time, right? You have to really bite down on this one and force his offense because if the tricks that he has are not going to work because Tommy Fury just has a little bit too much experience for him, and the guys that are watching are just going to be able to say, "Hey, we just have to avoid these simple things, and we should be all right." And Tommy Fury, and you're going to eliminate Jake Paul's whole offense. Then I think that really makes me lean towards Tommy Fury, and I think that's what's going to happen. I'm going to take Tommy Fury in a decision over Jake Paul, and I think that Jake Paul's offense will be exposed on how it's just kind of the basic things over and over again. And once you eliminate it, and if he can eliminate it early, he shouldn't fall for it late. It should really just go south from that point for Jake Paul. This has been Nez Raw Walk and Talk. Peace.